All right, we're rolling.
Oh, we're rolling? Yes. All right, this is the CI 2015 Friday night recap and Saturday preview. And we have Jono, introduce us all. Tell everyone who we are.
Well, I was about to fix the camera, but I'm going to let you do that while I fix the camera.
Okay. Well, apparently Jono is producing this number and deciding to take a field trip around because he wants the camera somehow different. But we have a guest coming in, and we got Ariana Balka because her team, and if you did not know this previously, is currently seeded number 1. You're seeded number 1 in the Elite Division. Your team has a record of 3 high wins, 2 middle wins, and no low wins. You are the only team that does not yet have a low win in the
Elite
Division. So, congratulations so far.
Thank you. Praise the Lord.
Yes. Well, it's all because of you is what we're hearing.
No, definitely not.
It's not?
Definitely
Is that
not.
against,
Okay.
that's against what we're hearing?
Well, so you have quizzed a majority of these teams. And so it's been a long time since Jono and I have quizzed.
Long time. Longer for you than me.
Longer for me than you. Yes, I'm the old man. So because of that, when we talk about these teams, we think you can give us some interesting anecdotes that we may not have. So,
Possibly.
so we first of all, Temple. Tell us a little bit about the team, Temple, Tennessee. Tell us about them because we know a little bit about them. We saw them quiz once.
Yeah. Well, since Athens, we've merged from 2 teams into 1 team.
Right.
And
And some not very smart person claimed that would hurt you. I don't know who that would be.
I heard that
Oh,
in
yeah.
some
I heard that.
tournament preview
Yeah.
somewhere.
I don't know who this person was. Not very smart. Okay.
Yeah.
So you merged into 1 team.
And so, obviously, Cullen is the best on our team.
Cullen is the best.
He's our captain.
All right. Now, the people out there want to hear you, so make sure
All right.
you talk as close to that microphone as you can.
Cullen is our captain, and then Kendra tonight, she has really stepped it up, and she's got a really good rebound jump, but she's been doing really good tonight. I was struggling in some of the first quizzes, and she really stepped it up. And
Okay.
So
So
she's
giving
helping us out.
props to Kendra.
Yep, and we put Grant on there. Of course, he's struggling. He has fractured his femur rollerblading, and so he's trying to get
That may be
adjusted.
just the break your team needed.
No,
I see what you did there.
That's funny. That's real funny.
Thank you.
And then we have Nathaniel Hendry on there, and I think they're trying to fill out, kind of fill out their place on the team. But
Okay.
hopefully.
Now, let me say this. I know that I was completely wrong because I said it would hurt you. Of course, granted, I said they would get, 4th place?
Yeah.
So I'm not,
you
sitting
said
there
4.
saying they're going to, fall flat on their face. So it
But
still
you
could
definitely
happen.
didn't have them as the number 1 team coming out of
Well,
Friday night.
and that's true. And as I said, not very smart. But what I will say is this. The one thing that I said I was worried about for your team was you had so many quizzers who were capable of such great things that sometimes it tends to make you compete against each other. And that's happened in the past. And I'm
why
not
we
meaning
split
that
last
to be
year.
mean. Right. So what do you feel has happened to make that not the case, to make that predictor guy just so incorrect?
Well, this year I think a lot of it is the material because it's over Matthew, which is the largest material. It's harder
By
to
number
get
of
enough,
verses, it is the
it's
largest.
hard to get enough coverage, and so we felt we didn't have adequate coverage with just me, Cullen, and Kendra, and so that's why we merged.
Okay, so you learned fewer chapters relative to the whole, and that's helped you. And it does.
Technically,
Well,
yes.
the best dynasty of all time was Schaumburg, Illinois. They won 5 AACS titles in 7 years. Never been done by anyone else.
Whoa.
And they never had anyone learn the whole thing. And they never had a dominant quizzer. So
just a
we
team
know it can
effort.
be done. Right.
Yeah.
So, and that seemed, you seem, based on what I've seen, to have learned some things. Now, look, we know that being the number 1 seed doesn't mean everything.
No.
One of your teammates once told me that nobody who's the number 1 seed ever wins the tournament.
Yeah,
So
coming out of the entire round robin.
right. So
Yeah.
being number 1 seed on Friday night doesn't bother you so long as you're not number 1 seed at the end. Is that what I'm hearing?
You're gonna have to. Are you guys gonna have to throw some quizzes tomorrow morning? Is that the
That's what we
thing
did
that's coming
last
out?
year.
Yeah. If Temple loses tomorrow in the first quiz, we'll know something's up.
Everything will be good.
Right. Okay. All right. Now the next 3 teams are Heritage from New York, Falls A, another really bad prediction, and Athens.
Yes.
You quiz against all 3 of those teams?
We actually did not quiz against Athens or Heritage. We quiz against them tomorrow morning.
Okay. Oh, so tomorrow morning.
So that
wait,
could
wait.
be the quiz.
Can
tonight.
we get a preview of that quiz, Mr.
All right,
Parker?
Here we go. Oh,
What
tomorrow
room?
morning. Tomorrow
David
morning.
Douglas's
We have David
auditorium.
Douglas, 9 a.m. Colorado time.
Can be
Heritage.
watched on television, if I'm not mistaken.
It
Well,
can
internet.
on CI
CI-TV,
on
right.
Colorado Invitational Television.
And Temple,
Temple
currently seated 1.
and Kettle Moraine. Where are they? Where are they?
Kettle
seated?
Moraine, currently seated 7th.
Close to your prediction there.
Yeah, well, okay. And who else?
And then Heritage.
Currently seated 2.
So 1 and 2 going at it
Right.
in the morning. First quiz, and you guys will be able to watch that in the auditorium.
So, if a lot of you may be tuning in at 10 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m.
11 Eastern.
No, for this.
For this
10
is
a.m.
recorded.
10
They
a.m.
wanna see
Eastern,
this.
8 a.m. Mountain, local time we call it.
Local.
So, stay tuned for the first quiz, which will feature Temple and Heritage, currently the 2 top-seeded teams. So, little plug for CITV. Okay. All right. So, Falls A, you've quizzed them, right?
Yes.
What? Again, we could go on and on about how someone made really, really bad predictions, but tell us a little bit about them.
Well, they've got a really good team effort going. Kara, I think is her name. She was doing really good. And I don't quiz them very much. They didn't come to Athens, I don't think.
Yeah, and that was one of the things we mentioned.
we talked
They
about.
come to so few tournaments a year. And the one time they did win a major was when they went to multiple majors, and it was the last major of the year they went to. So we, again, it was stated that we think going to more quizzes could benefit them, but maybe they found a way to do it without going to that many quizzes. Doing really well, seated 3rd, and you quizzed against them, and they have a dynamo. And I did mention this in the preview. They have, if I'm not mistaken, Stephen Gilmore, Kara Jager,
Yes.
and
Jennifer Schilling.
Jennifer Schilling. Yes, those 3 particularly, I feel like that's the talent to be top 2 or 3 team. And so when they quiz well, they can beat anybody, and they've been quizzing
They're
well.
definitely one of those all or nothing teams.
Yeah, well, pretty much it's been all. No nothing today.
No nothing.
No nothing.
They've been doing really good.
Yeah, so they've been doing really well, and so we like that. Also, Athens.
Athens.
Have you quizzed them yet?
We have not quizzed them here in this tournament yet. We did quiz them actually last Saturday.
Okay, you quizzed them last Saturday.
At the PQA tournament.
At the
They
PQA
got
tournament.
first.
I hear they got first. Okay.
And we got second in that one.
Okay, so
But they did amazing. they're really good.
so in 2-team quizzing, they have your number, but it doesn't matter when the quiz is a 3-team quiz. Okay.
Not yet.
But so we have Athens. So those are the top teams. Your perception, and we're not asking you to make picks. We know you're going to pick Temple to win. That's fine. But your perception, which team do you think, because Athens beat you in a 2-team quiz, are you like, man, we'd really like to get them eliminated at 3rd or anything like that?
Not Athens. They're one of our really friendly rivalries, as in Athens.
As opposed to the teams they really have a unfriendly rivalry with.
Yeah.
Let's
thanks,
talk
Matt.
about those. Those make great television.
I want to talk about the unfriendly rivalries.
No, I love all the teams here. It's just great to fellowship with other quizzers and stuff.
Yes. So.
So.
And I know you're not on Facebook. We won't talk about your family's decision not to do Facebook. But someone put on there that the other tournaments all seem like business trips, and this seems like the family reunion of Bible quiz.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, and it does make a difference. So, but you think all the teams here you have really good relationship, but having said that, is there a team that you feel like, man, we are going to struggle in a 2-team quiz with them, or do you guys feel like bring it on, it doesn't matter?
I will say Bethel Calvary is insanely good at 2-team quizzing.
Okay.
They are really, really good at 2-team quizzing.
So Bethel Calvary is the team that you feel like, man, if we can get them eliminated in a 3-team quiz, we feel better about it.
Sadly, yes.
Okay. No. I mean, well, and see, perception is not. Look, and this is something we can give our opinions, but and they may even be based on fact, but perception often rules the day, and you quiz, and that could be your team's perception, and it may be true, it may not. We'll crunch the numbers, although they did not finish first in PQA, which is all 2-team quizzing. We'll just point that out.
That was,
So.
they've won it the last 3 years in a row though before that.
Okay. Well.
So.
I mean,
It
if
was
you want to
an
live in the
upset.
past, okay, all right. So we have 5th place Hillsdale. Have you quizzed Hillsdale yet?
Yes, we did quiz Hillsdale.
Okay. And what did I say about Hillsdale in the preview, Jonna? Do you remember? Everything's going to hinge on who?
Who was it? Sarah?
Sarah. That's right.
Sarah.
That's
Or
what I
Scottie
said.
Pippen.
I said everything's going to hinge on Sarah. But the couple quizzes I saw of them, Kat quizzed out both times. I don't know what she did in the quiz
Kat
against
was
you.
doing really good.
Yeah, and I just said I accept that. Kat
Yeah.
will quiz really well.
Yeah.
She will quiz out. Whether they win or contend or don't, in my opinion, is based on Sarah.
Yeah.
And she's capable of doing very well. She's has several questions that she's good at. There seems to be a cluster of chapters where she seems to be better than other chapters,
Yes.
but we won't go into that. We don't want to give that away on CI TV. But yeah, I think as Sarah goes, so goes the team. And you call her the Scottie Pippen of Bible quiz, is that
Yeah,
right?
there we go.
That's right.
Like
All right.
you said, Kat's gonna do her job. We gotta see. We
So
gotta have Scotty show
now
up.
here comes the question.
Pressure,
Arna,
Sarah.
do you even know who Scottie Pippen is?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
You guys
All
are
right.
Too old.
All right. Fair enough. Maybe we're too old. Bethel Calvary 6.
That's
we already
the
talked
first
about
time
them.
that has ever been accused of. I've ever been accused of that.
Well, you hang around Bible quiz long enough, it'll happen frequently. All right. We have Kettle Moraine 7th, Fallsby 8th. 2 more teams from Wisconsin. And I said, as much as it pains me, Wisconsin now has the best state for Bible quiz.
And I was trying to leave a little bit of room for you when we were talking with David Post, and I said, maybe it might seem that Wisconsin has taken. He said maybe. No, David Poston says definitely Wisconsin is the state now.
Yeah.
Someone has called David Poston the best Bible quiz mind in the country, so I think we'll accept what he says. No, it pains me, but it's true. They are the best. And perhaps because I have this just terrible feeling of regret and remorse, perhaps I pushed them down further than they should have been. But they have 3 of the top 8 seeds coming out of Friday night, 7 and 8, and Falls A is 3rd, as we said. So they're looking very good. Did you quiz either of those teams, Falls B or Kettle?
We quizzed Falls, and
I'll put it there so you can look at it.
I don't believe we quizzed Kettle.
Okay.
Falls B. We did not quiz Falls B tonight.
Okay.
We quizzed them earlier in a scrimmage, though.
Oh, okay. So you've seen it all.
Yeah.
Kettle Moraine, I'm going to say this, regardless of how they finish out the tournament, no team improved more from the New Year's Classic to the CI tournament more than Kettle Moraine. They got to consolation quizzes. They didn't even have a consolation tournament at New Year's Classic, but that's another story. But they did not even win all their consolation quizzes.
Wow.
And now here they are. They're doing really well.
What do you think contributes to that fact? What do you think the difference is now?
They're better.
There we go.
I don't know. What do you think? All right.
Well, a lot of times when you do bad in a tournament and then you have a little time before the next tournament, you really pour it on studying, and that right there could be the difference.
You think they may have studied?
I think
I'm
so.
guessing they
Pour it
probably
on.
did.
I
I
would
don't
hope-
know.
I would hope so.
I'm guessing they
might
studied.
have quoted a verse or two.
Here
Yeah,
and,
and we
Here
think
and there, that's right.
Yeah, I think they have some quizzers on their team who may not be in high school yet.
Yes.
Yeah, Boogie.
That is-
Yeah, well, he doesn't look like a high schooler to me. All right. Now, the bottom 4 right now, and this is, to me, this is a testimony to the quality of this tournament.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, First Baptist Long Beach,
They were good.
Calvary, and Pleasant View. Did you quiz any of those 3 teams?
I quizzed Long Beach, Calvary, Pleasant View, and Woodside. I quizzed them all.
Did any of those 4 teams get a high win when you got a middle? You don't know.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't
Well, who
think
were your
so.
2 middles to?
They were to Falls
See now.
A
Okay.
and trying to see. I can't remember now.
Okay. Well,
Oh, Hillsdale.
Hillsdale. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, I will say this. First Baptist Long Beach, Calvary, Pleasant View, particularly, and we'll talk about the 12th team later. Those 3 teams, I don't think anyone would be surprised if 1 or 2 of those teams moved up into the top 6.
They're going to
of
be
the tournament.
upsetters, I think.
The depth of this tournament is amazing, and I think that speaks for it. And so that's that. Now Woodside,
All right, I'm out.
Jono, I
Tough
love Woodside.
night.
I love how kind they are to me. They didn't look good.
Oh, it was not. It was
They-
ugly.
They look so much better at New Year's Classic than they
Yeah.
look today.
I was shocked in New Year's Classic when I saw
You know,
it
I
there.
used to have a theory that teams quizzing on their home carpet were at a disadvantage. They always did poorly. In the last several years, Athens winning their tournament,
Yeah.
Woodside winning their tournament, Calvary, South Carolina getting close at Squanah. I felt like, man, maybe that has turned a corner. I may be coming back to this theory because Woodside just does not look as sharp as they did at New Year's Classic.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I didn't
explain
get to watch a lot of them, but it was.
Trust me,
It
you're
was
better off
like-
that way.
Yeah. The little bit I saw was more than enough.
Ben will tell you. You're better off just throwing tonight. And as a coach, there's different things. You can say there's the type of loss where you look at and say, we need to learn from this. There's something we need to do. And then there's the loss where you just say, throw away the film. Let's get rid of that. That whatever we did, whatever I don't know.
That seemed to be all night
That
tonight.
was. I mean, I watched a couple of their quizzes and they just.
I don't think I
They
ever
weren't
saw
as
them
sharp.
break
They weren't
40.
as fast. They weren't as. They
Well,
looked
were
lethargic.
Fast. They were
Well, and the quiz you were in, maybe they were fast, but they just didn't look at the end of the night. And you expect that to be like East Coast teams, like them to be tired at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And Woodside looked to me to be tired, and maybe
And the only theory I can really come up with is just when you travel, that whole trip, you have the mindset.
It's
And I
exciting
think-
too.
you study.
Well, yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
not you, but
No.
other people may have
I think-
studied.
I think the whole trip from the flight, drive, whatever it is, the hotel stay, all these Colorado team, they're sleeping at home in their own bed and their own comfort zone.
I
Maybe
tell you, I
maybe
used to
not
have the
in their
theory.
mindset. And
I
think
used to
that's-
have the theory.
I think that's the same theory.
I believe that my theory it may be reintroducing itself. I used to have it. I let it go, and maybe.
It should be pointed out though that Woodside did win this tournament not too long ago.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They won a couple years ago. Athens won their tournament. Calgary, South Carolina. I think they got like third or fourth
Yeah.
at Squanah. I just said, man, my theory is incorrect.
Yeah.
But if anything's going to make me re-accept that theory, it's today. And because Woodside looked decent, I didn't think they were going to win this tournament.
Yeah.
And I think even if they totally turn around tomorrow, I don't think they're going to win.
No.
But I think they can do better than they showed
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, I definitely could see them getting out of the bottom four if they really turn it around. It's going to take
They
a lot
could.
of work.
From what I saw at New Year's Classic, they were like doing real good. They're definitely
Yeah.
capable of better than what they were
Yeah.
doing tonight.
Well, yeah. I mean, it
It looked like maybe some of their JV teams might have been able to do a little better than what they were doing.
maybe.
Maybe
we'll
not much.
talk about
Maybe
that.
Not, maybe not
We'll
much.
talk about that when we talk about Division 2. But yeah, those are the 12 teams. That's how they stack up. So that's how we stand now. As we look forward, and again, we're not going to put Ariana on the spot here, but and again, I say this is the tournament where the best teams are going to win.
Mhm.
The best teams are going to separate themselves. More than any other tournament, in my opinion, the best team is most likely to win. The best team doesn't always win, but most likely this tournament. Having said that, I had Temple, Athens, Hillsdale, and Bethel Calvary as the top 4 teams coming in. Maybe not in that order, but I had those as the top 4. Falls and Heritage have injected themselves into the mix, and those are top 6. Looking forward, it would not surprise me at all if those teams finish 1 through 6.
Oh, not at all.
First
In
of all,
really in
5
any
of
of
them I
those
had in
orders.
the top 6.
Yeah.
So I'm not, but I feel like that's the separation. Looking forward, I feel like the separation is between 6 and 7. I feel like there's a top half and a bottom half, and that's where you see. And that's not to dog any of the teams in the bottom half. And if 1 or 2 of them sneak into the top half, it wouldn't be surprising at this tournament. But I think in what I've seen tonight, looking at the stats, in my opinion, you have the top 6 and the bottom 6, and I think they're going to kind of stay that way. So, again, I don't want to put you on the spot because you're going against some of these teams. But, John, what is your takeaway from what you've seen that's looking forward? How do you think that's going to go?
Yeah, like you said, I think the top 6 could be very well the 1 through 6, and really any of the orders. None of it would be all that surprising.
Sure.
Besides, maybe like you said, Falls was a little bit of the
Falls surprised me by
surprise.
getting in there. But I did say that and I think that they still could. I hope they don't. Based on what I saw tonight, I hope they don't do what I thought they were going to do early.
Mhm.
I hope they don't have some bad quizzes and fall back. You like what I did with that? I hope that they continue to do as well as they've done, because they've got good quizzers, and I would like to see them put it together and see how well they do against those top teams. So many years they come here and they'll get like 4 high wins, and they'll have the most high wins, and then they'll lose an early round, and it falls apart for them. I want to see them not do that. I want to see them get to
They
the
gotta
top
keep
6.
the momentum that they get.
Yeah, and if they lose, in the top 6, I think we can say, look, they did a good job.
Uh-huh.
They just didn't have the guns to go against them. But with that team that they have,
It's an excellent team.
they've got the firepower to go against anyone except perhaps Temple.
Yeah.
Temple's issue has never been firepower. It's been
Controlling
issue
talked
has been
about-
when you have 4 potential number 1 quizzers.
How do you control the firepower?
Yeah, you don't want to get in. It's kind of like you don't want to set off your own grenade. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
That's what I worry about. And perhaps, as we mentioned earlier, the break they needed.
The break
Was your
we
brother.
needed, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
All right. So do you have a final thought? All right.
Final thought. I think this is probably the tournament that has the most intense competition in it, and it's like extremely tough looking at these teams. They're like excellent teams. If I had to choose a top 3, excluding my team,
Well, just choose a top 2. Choose
Top
the second
2.
and third place teams.
I'm not saying we're gonna get first.
Well, no. But I mean, you've got to think that. I want you to think Temple's going to get first. So who do you think will
I
be the
want them
2
to get
teams?
first, I don't know they will.
Who do you think will be the 2 teams you beat at the end?
If I were to pick 2 top teams,
Don't
I'd
feel
say
obligated to pick if you don't
Yeah.
want to pick.
I would probably say Athens. They've done really well. They got second at their own tournament this year.
They did.
They did really good. And it'd probably be a toss. It's probably either going to be Bethel Calvary or Hillsdale, I'd say.
Okay.
For the second.
Yeah, I mean those sound like
I
4
think
teams
sounds
that I've
really,
heard
really
mentioned
solid
before.
teams. Yeah.
So anyway, okay, Jono,
My top 3?
whatever you want to say. What do you tell
okay.
us? What do these fine viewers on CITV? What do they have to look forward to,
I
either
think-
tomorrow or the rest of today, depending on when they
I'll
watch
give,
us?
give you this for looking forward to staying tuned, coming back, whatever you're doing. Do we have anybody online? That's what I'm going to find out right now.
Yes,
Anybody
that's
say, hey, we have like 20 people
that's
watching
that's
us
a
right
vital
now.
question to ask yourself. Yes.
So come back tomorrow, the 20 of you that are online. Stay tuned, those that will be watching tomorrow. We're going to have some awesome interviews coming up. Thank you to our guest tonight.
Thank you.
We'll have some other great interviews with quizzers, coaches, family members, guests. Try to get as many in here. Let you guys get into the mind of the quizzers and see what they have to see, what they're thinking, see what's going through their mind, and how they're enjoying the tournament themselves.
Yeah. Well, fantastic tournament to look forward to. For my thought process, whatever that means to anyone else, which is very little, I think this is the best tournament of the year. I think the tangibles of the tournament itself, if we had a tournament of champions, it would look like Woodside. I mean, this is what it would look like.
Correct.
You'd have a bunch of really good teams. You'd have a bunch of quizzes. You'd start eliminating teams. And however you decide to do it, it wouldn't look like a Squannet looks or an AACS looks or an Athens look. No disrespect to those tournaments. But this is what it would look like. And then you have just the intangibles of, you're dropping, you're parachuting into an environment. It's not a business trip.
No.
It's the family reunion of Bible quiz, which Poston said, and I've said like 80 times after he said it
and
once.
I think that goes into just the hospitality of the people here. That the men.
Which means we need to interview one of the people who's serving food.
We'll take care of that.
You think we can
tomorrow.
make that happen?
I can make that
well,
happen.
I don't know.
I can talk someone into it.
Yeah, they don't.
They deserve it.
They don't like. Well, they deserve the credit. They
That's
deserve
why
the
they-
props.
That's why they hide in the kitchen.
See,
they don't
we
wanna
just
talk.
mentioned it, and now they're all leaving the room. It's like, no. Hey, look. Okay, we're going to talk about Division II. John and I.
right.
All right, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
Do you
so
want to
much.
leave a parting comment? We're studying the book of Matthew this year. Do you? I mean, I don't want to put you on
Yeah.
the spot, but what's your favorite verse and why?
There are a ton of amazing verses. One of the ones
1,071 of them
Yeah,
to be exact. Yeah,
they're all
right.
they're all good. I like the one Matthew 5:13. It's a real common one.
Okay, Matthew 5:13. Now I know we know this,
Yeah.
but for any of those who might not, let us know what Matthew 5:13 says.
Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor worth, shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men.
Okay, and I know Jono knows what it's like to eat food without salt.
It's awful.
It's terrible. Okay, well, for those of you who are watching now, we're gonna come right back. For those of you who are watching, it's now for them, but not
Yeah.
now for us. If I'm still sleeping tomorrow morning and you're watching this, then okay, we're gonna
Then
take
you
just
overslept and you're gonna be late.
we're going to take just a real quick, brief 2-minute hiatus. Thank you, Arnie, for joining us.
Thank you for
We're going
having
to talk Division 2. Stay tuned. Division 2 coming at you. This has been the CI 2015 Elite Division recap. See ya.